Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics. How you doing? Welcome to the Fantasy MD's Baseball Podcast. Today's Wednesday, June 15th, 2022. This is our 30th episode. And once just real quick, at the top, I'm going to start asking, if you guys could subscribe, like, rate, review, and all that fun stuff. If you like what you hear at the Fantasy MD's, it would go a long way for us. We appreciate it. I'm your host, Dominic Martino. As always, here with my partner in crime, my co-host, Matthew Arnay. Matt, how are we doing today, my brother?
Good, man. Finally in my new office after emptying it out.
There we go. Very nice.
Yeah, I'm not sitting on the floor or I'm not sitting on some bed. You guys looking at my ceiling anymore. I know. Rest in peace, my old bar. But
Yeah, right. I already missed the bar, man. I already miss it, honestly.
yeah. Well, you know what? I got a bigger house. I'll just get another ball in there.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Well, we're gonna get right into it, folks. I'm gonna start here with the finger on the pulse as always. And how I don't know if we could start with anybody else besides Miles Mikolas. Dude, almost threw a no-hitter. I believe he was one strike away from it, and they gave up that little blue pit, and there it goes. So let's give you the line for Mr. Mikolas yesterday. Yesterday against the Pittsburgh Pirates, he got the win. He went 8.2 innings. He had 6 strikeouts, no runs, and .23 whip. I believe it was only the one hit. Man, outstanding for Miles Mikolas. Somebody that if you've been playing for a while, you've heard the name before. St. Louis Cardinal. So far in the year, Mr. Michaelis has 5 wins, 4 losses, a 2.62 ERA across 13 starts. He's pitched 82 innings. He has 66 strikeouts, and he has a 0.97 whip. So it's been absolutely outstanding, so far this season. It kind of is reminding me of that 2018 season that Michaelis had. He had 18 wins, 4 losses across 32 starts, a 2.83 ERA, 200 innings, only 146 strikeouts. So, he's not a huge strikeout guy. And he had a 107 whip that year. So now, in the couple years between that, he had a couple stinkers. He had a 4.16 ERA in 2019, and in 2021, he had a 4.23 ERA. And, you kind of just don't want to throw that off the, radar and be like, oh, he's back, he's back. You kind of want to say, hey, all right, maybe he's figured something out. I have to do my research. Sorry, folks, I've been busy the last couple of days. Life kind of hit me over the head. So I'm not sure if he has changed or fixed something. I will do the research and I'll get back to you guys on that. But it looks like he's kind of back to that 2018 form. Do I think he keeps up the 2.62 ERA all year with the 0.97 whip? No, probably not. But can he give you a mid-threes ERA with like a 107 whip and low strikeouts and a lot of wins? Yes, he sure can. So I think right now this is the best time ever to go out there and shop a guy like this after he goes out and throws a start like that. I don't think his value is going to get any higher than it is right now for the rest of the year. So my personal advice is I'd be out there looking to trade him for the best thing that I can get. I'm not saying he's going to be bad, but I think the value is at an all season high right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, Miles Mikolas, to be honest, has not been this kind of player. Okay, so my thing about him is he always has like a month or two worth of actual, greatness, and then he usually falls off a cliff and dies. And not literally, but this is just him. He doesn't really do his thing. I mean, his ERAs are really not that great. He had a 4.23 last year. He had oh God, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you got that right. It was a 4.23 last year and 4.16 in 2019. But as I pointed out, that 2018, the All-Star year for him was the big one.
Yeah, at 4.16, 2019, he did have that incredible year in 2018. 2017, he had a really good year, but that was within.
And that was in Japan, right?
Yeah, he hasn't stayed in the MLB because he's not really that kind of talent. Like, he's good and he has his spots, but he's not wonderful. So my advice is sell high and sell like he's, I don't know, Roger Clemens, because you know what, you're not going to get this value for him in a couple of weeks because he's gonna return back to the norm, get you that high 4 ERA, and he's always that low strikeout thing. He's not like that's out of the norm. He's still on pace with that. So sell high.
I think you shoot your shots right now. And I'll say this, Matt. Let's try and throw out a couple names for the people because I know the people like to hear names, that
Okay.
they should be aiming at. I'll give you one that I'm just seeing. I'm scrolling through some of my teams, so forgive me if I sound a little biased, but like I said, I've been a little tied up the last few days. I mean, somebody that I have on one of my teams that just came back off the IL is Tyler O'Neill, right? And I think he's got humongous upside. I know he's been hitting a little bit already, so the Tyler O'Neill owners might not be ready to budge, but go out there and aim for a guy like that with Miles Mikolas. If you need a bat, why not? Hey, talk to the Tyler O'Neill and be like, hey, he just came back. You don't know if he's going to keep it up. And throw the Miles Mikolas out there at him, right? Man, let's see if we can find a pitcher here for the people that maybe a buy low guy, maybe like a Brandon Woodruff, right? You go talk to the Brandon Woodruff owner and you add to something else. You take Mikolas, you add in maybe a closer or a lower end bat that you picked up off the wire that's performing, and you say, hey, would that get it done? Just kind of go out there, throw those feelers out there, and kind of see what people think of Miles Mikolas at the moment. And I say operate that way because I don't think he keeps this up for the rest of the season. And if he goes out there in his next start and he throws a stinker, then everything's kind of right down the drain.
Yeah, I mean, there's one more you could probably go for too.
Yeah, please, Matt, please.
I mean, a lot of people probably aren't feeling too hot about Lance Lynn's last start. Since he's back.
Yes.
We'll get to that in the news, but he didn't have a great start. But it seems like there's a lot of issues in the ball club. So take advantage of that and trade for him right now. And dump Mikolas and see if you could snag Lance Lynn because a lot of people are probably like, oh, he's old, that knee injury probably killed him. So, he's probably not going to do good. Let me scoop up Mikolas, has only been in the MLB, forever, but not forever because my man loves Japan. So, go and get that. Sorry, there's a net. Anyway, it's one of those things where I just say dump him, and you probably could get Lynn. I had a couple people today saying, hey, should I drop him? And I'm like, no, he's a stronghold.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I agree with that. Lance Lynn's a stronghold right now. He's going to find his groove. He always does. If you go back and look at his numbers, he's a very, very consistent pitcher over his career. But with that being said, let's leave the Miles Mikolas rant alone and let's get into some news and notes. My brother, just stop me if you hear anything you like.
Got you.
All right. So we're going to start here with some bad news. Edward Cabrera, somebody we recommended a couple weeks ago, looks like he's headed to the IL with right elbow tendonitis. And as my brother Matt would say, he's got some bad phalanges because man, he was banged up before he just came off the IL, at the beginning of the season, he was banged up. So I think he's a straight drop in most leagues. You don't want to hear anything regarding an elbow in a starting pitcher. Bad news. We got Freddie Peralta and some better news. He just started throwing. He's still out with that lat injury. There's absolutely no timetable. I'm thinking maybe August, at best for him. He's a hold, obviously, in keeper in dynasties. I would still hold him in redraft too, if you got the spot. If not, I mean, you look to move him or you just cut bait and you hope he doesn't come back and kill it. Sad news here. Ozzy Albies is headed to the 60-day IL with a fractured left foot, and the soonest he'll be able to return is the middle of August. I can't see how you drop Ozzy Albies in any league. Maybe in redraft if you once again buried with injuries. But even at that, it's again look to trade him, see if you can get anything first. If you can't, I mean, I guess at this point of the season, if you're buried, you got 7 guys on IL, he's your 8th. You got to prioritize, right? Next up, we got Jeremy Pena. He's headed to the IL with the left thumb discomfort. They're saying it's not severe, so just keep an eye on that. We'll keep you posted here on the MDs with Jeremy Pena. We got Juan Soto is day-to-day with knee injury. It's supposed to be not that serious, but he's missed the last 2 games. Just keep an eye on that one.
And tonight, it's concerning
there you go.
At this point. Sorry, this one I normally.
I told you to interrupt me if you need to, my brother. Go ahead.
I normally don't hop in on the news, but it is concerning because I don't even know what happened. He hit his knee on the bench or something like that.
Let's see if I can get you some.
They're not too clear on the news on Yahoo, and I honestly I'm just like, yo, what's up, right? So I mean, I've banged my knee before. I usually go right back out and play, especially when I go knee to knee with anything. I'm a spaz. So I think it's
X-rays came back negative, so that looks good.
I mean,
I can't see exactly here what he did, but
right.
It's not too bad.
I mean, all I heard was he banged his knee on the bench.
Oh, yes. You know what? You're right. I did hear that too. I think he slipped or something and he hit his knee. Yeah, I did hear that. And he hit his knee on the bench. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I get it. He's like the best outfielder in baseball, but can we talk about the fact that be a man?
You're calling that, Matt? You're calling that your own guys now?
Yeah.
Damn, the haterade's strong.
No, but I don't think it's Soto though. I mean, I'm sure Soto will go back out there and play. My bad, Soto. I don't mean to disrespect, but like, come on, the guy.
I'm busting your chops. I know you love Juan.
Yeah, he's like 22 years old.
Yeah.
Rub some dirt on it, get back out there. Like,
well, I'll tell you this, Matt, and we kind of been talking about this a little bit here this season, and another one of your boys, Acuna. Look at him. He's the definition of I'm just rubbing dirt on it and I'm going back out there. I don't care what you tell me, and it doesn't look like it's working out that great. It wasn't working out that great for him with the reoccurring stuff, right?
Well, I mean, he didn't hit his knee on the goddamn bench. He had a full-blown surgery where he had his knee cut into and whatnot. This guy banged his knee on the bench.
Yeah, I hear you.
My knee on the guy on the bed.
Yeah, I think the Nats are trying to take care of him though, So you're right though. He definitely gotta, make sure he's being a man about the situation, But you're right. It might be the Nationals holding him back. Who knows? We'll keep it pushing here though with another one of your boys, Matt. Mr. Brandon Woodruff, and good news, he's gonna make a minor league cap start Saturday with the Raynaud syndrome. Apparently, he's feeling a little bit better. Those fingers got the blood circulating good again. Hopefully, he goes out there and he looks lights out because I know all the Brandon Woodruff owners need him to get back to his normal self. So we as Matt's doing, we're all praying for Mr. Woodruff there. On a worse note, Pablo Lopez is not going to start Wednesday when he was scheduled to. He's diagnosed with a right wrist contusion. The x-rays came back clean and everything though, so it's not like nothing serious. They said he might go to the IL because they have to make a roster move and it would be retroactive, so he probably would only miss maybe this one start and then he would be right back in the lineup if everything looks good. But just guys, keep your eyes on that one because that's a developing situation, as is the one that we're about to talk about now. We talked about it the other day, and look who's on the IL now for 3 weeks. That's Liam Hendricks, with that right forearm strain. He's going to be out at least 3 weeks. And we talked about him the other day. We told you to keep your eyes on that one, and now he's on the IL. So, once again, we got some news coming up for that, in the waiver wire segment here. So just stay tuned. We have 3 men all activated from the IL today, which is absolutely awesome news. We got Matt's boy, Jack Flaherty, coming back. Little Jack going to come back, do some damage, hopefully. We're all excited about that one, Man, he was really working hard to get back, and that's what I love to see, guys. If you're a student of the game of fantasy baseball or just baseball in general and you keep up with stuff, right, you want to see guys that work hard. Guys, you don't want to see a guy out there just being lazy, on off days. He's out drinking, doing this like Matt Harvey back in the day, the Dark Knight, hanging out with all the supermodels in New York. Look how his career went. You want a guy like Flaherty and Clevenger, these guys that are dedicating themselves to working back from these injuries. Matt, rant about your boy for a little bit. Come on, give me a little Jack Flaherty.
I mean, little Jack is good, man. He's the epitome of rub some dirt on it. Because he's been throwing with a torn shoulder for like 3 years now and still throwing like almost a hundo. So the kid's good. I'm excited to have him back. He's actually pitching as we speak. Funny.
Oh, is he? Let's get a little notes. How's he doing so far?
Unfortunately, so here's the deal. They only let him go about 60 pitches. It looks like he's struggling because he gave up 4 runs against Pittsburgh.
It's okay. You know what? He's got out there and he's throwing. As long as he comes back tomorrow and he tells us he feels good, that's all you need to see.
It's not like he got pulled or anything of the sort. They're getting him warmed up. They let him skip his last rehab start. Next week he'll probably be a full go, and that I'm really excited about. But he got 3 Ks in 3 innings, so that's something really encouraging right there.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up how many pitches they let him throw. I'm curious. You know what, Matt? He threw exactly 60 pitches, so that's awesome. You love to see it. They got him to the number that they wanted to get him to. So I'll even tell you this. Who were we talking about earlier that we were trying? Mikolas, right? If you could go out there and get Jack Flaherty from Miles Mikolas, you're ecstatic. I mean, it's an injury risk. We know Jack's phalanges are a little bit questionable, but if he's healthy, man, in my opinion, he's easily a top 20 pitcher in baseball when he's healthy. So we got 2 more guys here that were activated from the IL. The first one is Jonathan India, and a reigning NL Rookie of the Year. Get him active in all your lineups. Cincinnati's a great place to hit. I know the team's not great, but I have faith in Jonathan India, who is a power steal combo and a good batting average guy as well. And then the last one, the guy who's been tearing the cover off the Bulls so far this year, that's Mr. Taylor Ward. He's
Welcome
back
back
today from the he's welcome. That's the welcome back segment for all three of them there. Once again, Jack Flaherty, Jonathan India, and Taylor Ward. Get them all active in your lineups. They're all great players, and we love to see them all back as fantasy baseball fans and baseball fans in general. So now, guys, we're gonna transition into our waiver wire segment, and man, we got a couple good ones for you here this week. Then it's not as long as normal and not as great as normal because as I said, me and my brother been a little bit tied up the last few days. Life has kind of gotten the better of us here, but we're still rocking and rolling, and we're doing what we need to do for the fans. So we're gonna start off here with a bat, and that's gonna be somebody that we actually haven't talked about, but I've been hearing a lot about him in the community so far. That's Michael Harris II of the Atlanta Braves. And man, this kid's been pretty good so far this season. Let me just scramble up his numbers here for you. Bear with me as I do that, folks. Okay, so Michael Harris II, outfielder, Atlanta Braves. He's 37% owned on Yahoo. He's got 11 runs, 2 bombs, 9 RBIs, 2 steals, and he's hitting 317. That's across 63 at bats. And he's been hitting towards the end of the lineup, which is a little bit, not the best spot, but it's almost like the second leadoff guy, right? So he gets the top of the lineup coming up behind him. So it looks like he could score some runs. They're going to let him steal bases, and the batting average looks good so far. So you know what? If you need an outfielder, 37% owned on Yahoo, Michael Harris II. You could probably do worse at the moment.
Oh yeah, I mean it's exciting. He's looking good. He looks like he's going to get some solid playing time. I'm all for it. He's definitely worth at least an ad this week. I'm actually adding somebody in last minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
I completely forgot to talk about to add him to the show notes. And that's John Birdie.
Yeah. That's one of your boys.
Yeah, of Miami Marlins. He's actually stealing everything under the sun. He might go down for grand larceny. He's had only 100 plate appearances, 100 at bats, and he has 12 stolen bases. He's hitting 270. He's 21 runs. Yeah, he's killing it right now.
Yeah.
And he's got 2 bombs, 10 ribbies on the year. So he's doing great. He's doing big things, and it's really under the radar. And somebody brought him to my attention, was asking about it, and I'm like, oh wow, okay. He's definitely worth a pickup. And honestly, if you're really slacking in steals, he's a real nice pickup. I mean, shoot, somebody get the cuffs. So
on Yahoo, he's eligible at second base, third base, and outfield. He's only 27% owned. I love the runs and steals number. He's been hitting second in that lineup. Every day. Not every day. I'm lying to you there. He hit second today. He hit first on June 11th, and he hit first on June 5th. So it looks like they're trying to get him higher in the lineup on recently. So I like to see that. If he is hitting that high in the lineup, he's got Jazz right in front of him. He's got Jesus Sanchez behind him. That's a good spot to be in a lineup, in my opinion. And those 12 steals is lovely at the moment. And in a world in fantasy baseball where steals keep getting harder and harder and harder to come across. Matt, I actually love the John Birdie ad to the show. That was a fantastic call. Let's see who we got next here. Let's go with a power guy. We went with a speed guy. Let's go power here. And actually another Atlanta Brave. What a great team the Atlanta Braves are. They've been on an awesome win streak here. They're finally coming into their own. And you know who's been contributing to that? Mr. Adam Duvall. And if all he's good for is home runs, hey, then that's all he's good for. So I'm recommending Adam Duvall as a power guy strictly. We all know his career. He's got 7 bombs. On the season this year, he's got 25 RBIs. He's been hitting a little bit lower in that lineup too, but on June 12th, he hit 2 bombs. On June 13th, he hit a bomb, and he's the type of guy that come in bunches, like a Joey Gallo and those type of dudes, where the batting average isn't necessarily going to be great. But you know what, man? If he's going to provide you power and RBIs, I just want to see how many home runs he hit last year because I know it was a big number.
Yeah, and, while you're looking for that,
go for it.
I will state this. Last week, he's hit 278.
There you go.
He's on a little hot streak over here, and you know what? I'm all about it. You know what? And he's been hit. I apologize. Last 7 days, 292. Last 2 weeks, 286. So that's 2 weeks of finding the ball.
Yeah.
And he has the counting stats to go with it. He's had in the last 2 weeks 13 runs, 5 bombs, 9 ribbies, batting 286.
Comes in bunches.
Let's go. You know
Like
what?
I was saying, my bad to cut you off, Matt, but he had 38 bombs last year, 113 RBIs. He had 228. So I mean, and he's just let's go back a couple years. In 2017, he had 30 home runs, 31 home runs. 2016, he had 33 home runs. So you just know what you're getting. You know you're getting a guy that's going to be power in a great team, great lineup. He's not hitting towards the top, but he's going to drive in all those guys that trickle down to him, in my opinion.
Joey
Matt, anything
Gallo
else there to
light.
say about the kid?
Yeah, a little Joey Gallo light,
Yep, fully agree
So,
with that.
he'll be a nice little add, especially if you're suffering on the power end. And I mean, to be honest, this whole league is struggling on power. So he may be a nice little boost in the UT, or to recover for some of these injuries that are popping up.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yeah, it's pretty exciting. It's happy too, because everybody pretty much drafted him high this year, higher than I was higher on him. So
Yeah.
higher than I was on him this year. But let's get into our last guy for bats, and that's going to be Mr. Nathaniel Lowe. He is 31% owned. Looks like he's getting hot again.
Yeah, man. We talked about him at the beginning of the
Mm-hmm.
year when he was getting hot. And I mean, if you held tight, man, he's putting up some pretty good numbers still.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his season numbers are looking great. I mean, you would hope a little bit more counting stats, but they're not bad. So on the year, it's 24, 8, 24, 1, 281. But this last 7 days, 5, 2, 4, 0, no steals and batting 400. Now, you can scoop that up off the waivers. That's going to be another nice bunch. Talking no power. Look at the power right there. So, let's get it rolling and pick this guy up.
Yeah, you know what? 26 years old. He was a higher end prospect when he came up. He really didn't show anything. And I believe he had some injuries here and then just little nagging stuff, nothing like super, super big as far as I remember. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks. But man, last year he had 18 home runs, he had 8 steals, he had 264. And it kind of looks like you're seeing a little bit more of the same, except the steals. He's only got 1 steal on the year. So you kind of hope maybe he'll chip in a couple more, but the power's legit. He's on a good team. I know Marcus Semien starting to turn things around. Corey Seager, on the other hand, is still, a little bit questionable what he's been doing there with Texas. But they got good guys. They got Adolis Garcia. It's not a bad team, as far as the lineup goes anyway. And as Matt read you off his stats from recently, he's been getting hot again. First base eligible, 31% owned on Yahoo. That's Nathaniel Lowe of the Texas Rangers, guys. Go out there and add him. I mean, I don't see why not. If you need a first baseman, he's been getting it done so far this year. So let's transfer over from hitters to pitchers. A lot of pitchers going down. I know there's been some coming back, but with everyone that comes back, I feel like there's another one that just goes down. So let's start with actually, I believe the one guy who's actually fully healthy out of the names we're going to recommend to you, is George Kirby. Once again, I know we spoke about him a couple times on the podcast, but he's still only 47% owned on Yahoo, guys. And he gets the Angels this week. I know they've been struggling, a little bit the past month or so. And I would go out there and I'd start him this week and I'd give him a shot. He starts on June 16th. On the year, Kirby's got a 3.65 ERA, a 1.14 whip, 37 innings, 35 Ks. One of the most talented young pitchers in baseball. I think he totally deserves a shot for at least this week. And to be honest, he's a hold for me as long as he pitches at least some halfway decent, because I love the talent. Kid's got elite stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a nice little steal. He's probably going to pick it up. It seems like, when people have figured him out, and let's hope he adjusts, because he had a real nice start off to the season, and now he's kind of on a downward turn, but he does show a couple moments of grace in a couple games here and there. So let's hope that continues. But let's move on to Mr. Alex Cobb of the San Francisco Giants. He's on his way back. He's returning this Saturday for a start from a neck injury. He has a nice little matchup coming up against Pittsburgh, it seems like. So that's going to be a nice little open up against that. It's at Pitt, which is the only thing that's kind of against it, but at the same time, it's Pitt.
Yeah. I mean, it's Key Brian Hayes and friends.
Yeah, exactly. And Key Brian can't get it out of the park, so you're fine. And not for nothing, Cobb did have a good year last year. He had 98 Ks, a 3.4 something ERA, and pitched 92 innings. So he definitely showed out last year in the limited time he had. I think this year he's going to come back and pretty much do the same thing. Plus, when he's pitching at home, that's a really nice park to pitch in. So he could be someone that's more of a long-term outlook, which is good because, as you know, all the guys we were talking about are hurt. So.
Yeah, Matt, I'll say this. Right now, guys, it's a struggle on the waiver wire for starting pitching in most leagues. If you're in any kind of league that is at least a little bit competitive, starting pitchers are flying off the waiver wires. So Yeah. So that's why I know with Alex Cobb is on the IL, but he's supposed to come back Saturday. Like Matt said, against the Pirates, they're not a great team. It's a team he can go out there and dominate. He's a big strikeout guy. I know the ERA and WHIP aren't great, but I'm gonna forgive him for that. It's really like two really bad starts. He got rocked at Coors Field, which is most pitchers do, and then I believe in his second start this year, he got rocked against the Nationals, and that was a 13.50 ERA and a 10.50 whip in .2 innings. So, I mean, he was just getting the start to the year, I mean, you can't really blame him for that, but his velocity is up. The Giants are great with starting pitchers. I think this might be the breakout party for Alex Cobb as long as he's able to stay healthy, right? Because if he goes out there and he dominates the Pittsburgh Pirates, I could see a lot of people adding him. He's only 32% owned on Yahoo right now. So if you need somebody for this week, totally, he's a sneaky ad right now. Sneaky ad because he can come out there, strike out 10 Pirates. He goes from 32% owned to 70% owned, and then you never get another shot at him if he keeps it going, right? So that's Alex Cobb there. I think he's totally worth an ad for at least this week. Possibly he could possibly be a long-term solution, right? So now we got two more guys for you as far as starting pitching goes, and they are both on the IL. So you can give us a little hate, but I think these are good names to keep an eye on. You throw them on the watch list, and you see how things develop, right? So let's start with somebody we've talked about on the podcast before. That's Nicola Dolo of the Cincinnati Reds, and he's still a little bit ways from returning, but he's working his way back. He pitched a simulated game on Monday. And it looks like everything went well because there was nothing came out, that it wasn't well. So he's coming back from that back strain. He had two big strikeout games, in his first two starts in the big leagues. On April 24th, he got the win against St. Louis. He went 5.2 innings, 7 Ks, 1.59 ERA, and an 0.88 whip. As to his first start was a little bit more uncomfortable against San Diego, but he did have 8 strikeouts. So, Lodolo has a very good upside. If you go look at his minor league numbers, he always had a great ERA, always was a strikeout guy, and a pitcher I'm a big fan of going forward here. So just keep your eye out on him. Matt, you want to talk about Lodolo a little bit?
You pretty much covered him. He's a nice little prospect. Hopefully, he has some long-term solution for them and for you. Let's see what happens. He's at least a speculative ad.
Yes, sir. So, yeah, I got one more guy here, and I'll tell you, I was drafting this guy everywhere coming into draft season. He was probably my last pick in every league until I saw he got hurt. That's Luis Patino of the Tampa Bay Rays, and man, is this kid got electric stuff. His numbers weren't great last year, but you know what, man, the stuff looked good. He's a young kid, and he's on his way back, right? He fired 2 scoreless innings on Saturday. In the rookie level. So, they're working him back. He's probably still at least a month or so out. But he's expected to move up his next start to AAA Durham. So they're building up his pitch count. They want him to come back as a starter. Once again, Luis Patino of the Tampa Bay Rays. He's only 5% owned on Yahoo right now. I mean, I'll tell you this. I don't know if he's going to be back that soon, but when he's back, I think he's going to be electric. He might be a guy that, I don't want to say a league winner, but I want to say that, he's going to be somebody, if he's healthy and he's, starting for the Tampa Bay Rays, Luis Patino, he's somebody you're going to want to have on your team, man. He's a great strikeout guy, electric stuff. He's young, but man, when he figures it out, I think he has the upside of like a top 25, 30 pitcher. My opinion anyway.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. He's definitely the speculative ad at least.
Yes, sir. So
go ahead.
Hey, so we got just one last guy here. And we were talking about Liam Hendricks is going to be out for 3 weeks. So who's likely to pick up the job? That's going to be Mr. Kendall Graveman, and once again for the Chicago White Sox. He's all right, he's had a good year last year. He's having a good year again this year at 31 years old. Kendall Graveman, he's got a 2.51 ERA, 2 wins, 1 losses across 27 games, 28 innings, 27 strikeouts, and a 1.32 whip. But I actually think that's a little high because he had a 0.98 whip last year across 56 innings. He had 61 strikeouts last year, Kendall Graveman, and a 1.77 ERA, right? So, I mean, the guy's shown good stuff for the last couple of years, he's going to be closing for the White Sox now. The White Sox are picking it up. They're winning baseball games. Go out there and get your Kendall Graveman while you still can, because you know what? He's dissipating on every single waiver wire in every league that I'm in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
45% owned. I just wanted to throw that out there.
yeah, he's definitely worth it. I mean, White Sox are a great team. They're going to be in a lot of winning positions. That means a lot of save opportunities. He's definitely not somebody that's going to be that's going to blow you up either. He's actually a decent closer with some good talent. So he's definitely a safe ad in my book. And honestly, we're all struggling with saves this year. So
Yeah.
I don't care whether you have Liam Hendricks. He should be all your fab. Well, not all, but I would say 30 or 40% of it if you're in that situation. And if you have no closer, all of it, because you'll get 3 weeks of studness for you.
That's a bold call. I don't know if I'm blowing everything for Kendall Graveman, but if I need saves, I agree with about maybe 30% accurate, because this guy is going to have the job for at least the next 3 weeks. And a forearm strain on a pitcher, you never like to hear that. It could lead to worse things, especially if, he has a setback. You hear, oh, maybe a setback, he misses 2 more weeks. You get 5 weeks of saves from Kendall Graveman, right? So he's definitely an experienced pitcher. He's done it before. He has already got 2 saves on the year, so he was trusted in situations already. And he's got a lot of holds too. So, they're definitely going to throw him out there, guys. Definitely go out there and add Kendall Graveman. But folks, that's all we got for today. Sorry, it's a little bit shorter than normal. As I mentioned a couple times, Matt and I have been a little tied up this week, but we promise we're going to come back better than ever next week. We're going to give you guys, some fantastic shows. And we just appreciate you guys, hanging out and staying here with the Fantasy MDs, listening to us in our rookie year. Hopefully we're making a rookie of the year push. My brother, if you want to chime in here real quick.
I just want to give you a birthday shout out a day late.
Thank you, my brother.
Happy birthday. You're an old man now. You're 30.
Officially, I'm in my 30s. I spent my 30th birthday at the DMV and getting a new a rental car because somebody hit me out of nowhere. It's a 30-year-old event, right?
Yeah. Well, welcome to adulting. It sucks. Try and buy a house next, and it's really gonna suck.
Oh yeah, right. That's what's next up for me. Well, I appreciate the shout out, my brother. It means a lot to me. I appreciate doing this with you. We have so much fun every week doing this. It's fantastic. And once again, fans, everybody, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. If you could just give us a little 5-star rating, a little like on YouTube, and write a little something on Apple and Spotify. If you like what you hear, it goes a long way for us. Until next week, folks.
Yeah, for the kid's birthday, give him.
Yeah, for my birthday. That's all I ask of you guys. For my birthday, just give us a little love on Apple, Spotify, YouTube. But until next week, folks. Peace. Thank you.